Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview, Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur at Hill Dickinson Stadium Sunday afternoon. And does this represent a really good opportunity for Everton to get back to winning ways?
Really good opportunity. Feels as though you're sort of saying Spurs aren't very good, which they are. It represents an opportunity to get back to winning ways because I think Spurs have just at the moment are a little bit below what they can be. I think they've got a lot of really good players, but they've got a lot of players out at the moment, which will obviously help Everton. They've got a brilliant manager, haven't they? And a manager we both spoke about when probably a year ago when we were talking about if Everton replaced Sean Dyche, Thomas Frank would be one we'd love to see Everton go and get, but it didn't happen. They ended up at Spurs. But it's an opportunity given the disappointments against City, and what I mean by that is not that we lost the game. That is, we've lost many games to Manchester City over the years, but there was an opportunity, the way the first half played out there, that Everton could have asked more serious questions of City than what we did. We lost the game, but now we're at home, and we know that playing at Hill Dickinson has been quite good for us so far, and I do think it's an opportunity for us to get back to winning ways.
Yeah, because they're not on the best of runs, are they? I think they've won one of the last 5 Premier League games, and that was against Leeds away. Obviously, last week we were beaten by Villa, and they've just come off the draw at Monaco. So it has sort of the great start slowed down a little bit, hasn't it? You mentioned their injuries of obviously of an issue. Spurs just, I don't know what it is, they just seem to have loads of injuries all the time, and they're always never seem to have a first team ever. But I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we beat Spurs last season at home. It was David Moyes' first victory. So, we can look back to that, and we were quite dominant in that game. But obviously, it's a different Spurs with a different way of playing. They're a little bit more tighter now. But again, I suppose these games are the kind of games Everton have got to win, because Spurs are not. They're not the highest of clubs when it comes to they're the bit below. I know they're in the Champions League, but they're more like a Europa League team in my eyes. Even though they're in the Europa League Champions League because they won the Europa League. So I think these are definitely the team. If you want to measure Everton's progress, certainly at home, I think it's how we do against these teams. Now, we've already beaten Brighton. We've already beaten Crystal Palace, who are in Europe and who were on a magnificent run. So I suppose Spurs are the next one on the list, aren't they? We couldn't beat Villa, but obviously we didn't get beat. But it feels similar to that Villa game, where going into it there's a lot of high hopes. But obviously we're also keeping in mind of where are we? Where are we exactly? Because as you mentioned last week, first half I thought we were great against Manchester City, but it just quickly got away from us, and once it did, but there was no coming back.
I think there was you talk about the two teams there, and Spurs are above, obviously ahead of Everton.
Absolutely.
In not only in the places where they are, but where they are in their journey as well. So we're not sat for any Spurs fans watching. We're not sat here going, we should be beating these. Yeah. But they're not at their best, and we've seen some tremendous Spurs sides over the years with, like, when he finished runners up and stuff, and in the Champions League rather, when he had Harry Kane, and they probably really should have won the league in 2016. Leicester pipped them to it. So we've seen them have some top sides. I think they're a bit below that at the moment, but they've got a really good squad. The problem is they can't keep those players fit, you said. So this is an opportunity for Everton, but we saw when they went the Etihad, even though City had most of the game, Spurs took the chances and beat them 3-0. We didn't have most of the game by any stretch at the weekend, but we had opportunities. And whereas that game at the Etihad, I think Spurs were 2 up at half time. Yeah, Everton could have been 2 up at half time on Saturday and weren't, and therefore when City did get the inevitable goal, we were done, and that was the difference between those teams. I saw them at Leeds the other week, and they were quite bright going forward, but they did give Leeds more opportunities than I thought they would, to be honest. And it was only Leeds have got poor strikers. That they didn't make more of it that day. yes, Tottenham could have scored more goals as well, but like I said, they give them opportunities, and that was with a few more of these players available. So if we do get them on Sunday, we have got to take them. You mentioned Villa. We should have bounced Villa right out of sight. It was only one team in the game that day. They play for the draw, which is very unlike Villa under Emery since he's gone there. And they got battered and they got away with. Okay, we didn't have loads of clear-cut chances, but we had all the chances. Yeah. They had one shot, but we missed gilt-edged opportunities. Beto missed 2 gilt-edged opportunities that day. We hit the bar, shots getting blocked on the line, and all the rest of it. West Ham, for the main, we should have won. We could have lost it when they equalised for 10 or 15 minutes after it. They could have won it, and then we got hold of it again. But in general, we've been quite good at home, and this would be a very different match preview. I think if we were going away, we'd be saying we've got a chance, but deep down we'd be thinking these are a good side. But why can't we beat a team they're ahead of us at the moment? They're not miles ahead of us in points.
We'd be on the same points.
Exactly. So therefore both teams start is quite similar. A win between you is the proverbial 6-pointer, isn't it? The swing. So can Everton get past them? I think we can.
And again, it's that thing of like, it's the stage of the season, isn't it, where you can climb the table very quickly, but you can also drop down the table very, very quickly. And Everton have got to keep that consistency of picking up points and making sure that we are in touch in distance, because, you know, we've got games on paper that are coming up that look quite good, but you don't want the season to turn quickly, and then suddenly you look at those games and you're like, oh God, we don't want to get into a bad run because these are the teams we believe we should be beating. And before you know it, you're in December, and where you get a lot of games all at once. And it's like the Palace game. If you win this game, if we won the Palace game, the difference that made to us. And then same with this, if we win this game, the difference that could make to us, when you look at the table to where we are, to just continually picking up points, keeping a really good home record as well.
The difference with the Palace game was we won the game. It was key because we'd lost. Again, when you look at it, we'd lost to Liverpool, so it wasn't like we'd been beaten by, a poor side or whatever. But you knew you'd had City after Palace, and it was like, if you don't win that, then 4 games, it's easy to get away. The difference, I think, if we win this one, will be we go to Sunderland. That's not an easy place to go at the moment. They're flying and winning them games, but they are still a promoted team who, okay, they made some good additions, but again, I've seen bits of them, and they do give you lots of chances. You look at that, and then Fulham at home, and you go, we've got a chance to put some points on the board here, and we've got to keep the run going at home for as long as we can. It'll come to an end at some stage, I'm sure, but you've got to keep that going as long as you can. And Spurs, just looking at the players they've got missing, no Kulusevski at the weekend, Solanke, players like that. They've got doubts over Romero, who's a huge miss for them. Udozie, who's been brilliant. So there's these players who Matthias Tell even is a little bit of a doubt, so's Odegaard. So these are really quick, direct players, and we have to watch Richarlison because he seems to
always scores.
We love him, but he always seems to score against us. So they still carry a huge threat, and they're a really, really good side.
Our record against them's abysmal.
Yeah, it is.
It is abysmal. It's only that we got the win last year, and I mean, even that was it
shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I know, but fallen to
we missed Sitters at 3-0 to go 4-0.
I know. We've done quite a lot when we have had opportunities to beat teams. But let's just have a look at Spurs' side that got beat by Villa last Sunday.
See, even that, the team there, you're looking at it, the bench, Richarlison, Bergevall, Kolo Muani, Papa Shah, Brennan Johnson, they're all, it's all attacking threat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lucas Bergvall's been fantastic for them, still a young player. Kolo Muani, World Cup winner with France, hasn't really hit the ground running yet with Spurs. Papa Shah doing really well in midfield. Brennan Johnson's been key. But Thomas Frank's come in and, he's got them a little bit more direct, which I think's helped them. A bit better defensively than obviously Ange playing on the halfway line and having kittens. And it's probably why Van der Ven hasn't been as, picking up injuries every other week, because the fella hasn't been having to do 100-metre sprints every time the opposition go forward. And, so like I say, we know these are a really good side, but just looking at that team there, and we're talking about it. You know, Tell started up front last week against Villa. He's a doubt. Yeah. Got a calf injury. Odobert, got to come off with an injury against Monaco. Now, he may well be fit, but is he fully fit because of that? Don't know. So, they're probably already going to have to make a couple of changes from that draw in France.
Well, let's just have a little look at Kudus' numbers as well. A player that obviously Everton got very close to buying a couple of years back, but it wasn't to be. Obviously went to West Ham and has now moved to Spurs.
Yeah, excellent footballer. He's played 8 times, 1 goal so far, but got 4 assists. Chances created per 90, just under 2, 1.9. And his passing accuracy, 86.7. They've used him off that right-hand side. You can see the heat map there, left foot. Good energy, good dribbler. And when he's in form, he's an excellent footballer, isn't he? And, he was doing well for West Ham last year. Remember when he played Spurs, and remember he went around trying to fight everyone and got about a 5-game ban, and that sort of put the mockers on West Ham for a bit. But he is an excellent footballer, great buy for Spurs, and he's one that we'll have to watch, definitely.
Well, let's have a look at the Everton team that were beaten by Manchester City, obviously. Obviously Jack Grealish is going to come back into the side, but is there any other alterations? I mean, we've been talking this week on the channel about, now that we know Jared Brandtwaite's situation, is it time to revise the back four? Maybe start to looking at putting someone else in at right back, and that possibly could lead to Jake O'Brien moving over, or maybe just Jake O'Brien going out to the side. Is there anything in that you would look at now that we know?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the manager will. It's an option, of course. James Garner could go and play at right back and give us that. I think he's excellent at right back, but he's a midfield player ultimately and wants to play there. I think the manager will look at Jake O'Brien, who I thought done all right against Doku, really, in general at the weekend. But the goal, he was a little bit caught him in the eye for the goal. He was square, weren't he? And it was one ball, split them, and he was out of it. But I think he'll leave that as it is at the moment. I think he'll see how it goes. I don't think either centre-half covered themselves in glory for the goals last week. I think they were both could have done better. For Keane for the first goal, Tarkowski for the second goal. And I think the manager will try to keep that right now and just see how it goes. I think the one thing that you could look at is potentially playing Ndiaye as a striker in this one.
Yeah.
And leaving Alcaraz in. Now, the only issue with that is, if Alcaraz plays centrally, then where does Shrewsbury Hall go?
Yeah.
Because he said himself he wants to play as an 8.
Yeah.
So does he take him out and put James Garner in the right to protect O'Brien? That doesn't make any sense. But he'll probably just stick, because I don't see him putting Tyler Dibling in. So therefore, that's a tricky one. It'll feel harsh to me on Carlos Alcaraz coming out the side, because I actually thought he'd done all right against City as well. I thought when he breaks with the ball, he's the one leading the driving us forward, so to speak. We don't quite do that the same. So that's an interesting one. Whether he play on, I mean, he could always play Ndiaye through the middle and Alcaraz off the wing.
Yeah.
He'll probably just stick with what we've got. Grealish will come in, and maybe it'll just be Charlie comes straight out. And
I imagine, because again, that's like the easiest thing, isn't it? And
well, what would you do with Beto? Because he missed 2. I think he missed 1.5 chances. I think I get what you're saying. I just think it's a difficult one, the first one, in terms of going ahead of the ball. It looks worse, I think, than maybe it is, but maybe I'm being kind to him. But I do think it's a tricky one. The second one, I can't understand though he's not hit the target. I really can't. He's done all of the hard work. Focus on hitting the target. Donnarumma saves it. He saves it. And that's the line. He was onside. Forget about the lines. He was onside. He should have really scored it. And then after that, he'd hardly done anything. And he's coming out to games. He's not really. He's got to be a threat for the whole game. And I actually thought the manager, and I, big, like David Moyes and back him and all that. But I did think on Saturday, he should have brought Barry on after, when it went 2-0. He should have made the change and gone, go and get more minutes. Barry come on, run around, tried to get involved, but you've got to give the lad something to train for. And the same with Tyler Dibbling. Had I brought Dibbling on, it was 2-0, it was over. And I know we can say, well, we wanted to be careful it didn't end up 4 or 5. The irony is it could have ended up that anyway, because we did run out of legs, and when he put it on in 86 minutes, it threw the shape anyway.
I get the feeling that I think the Mail and Roll thing's really interesting. He brought Mail and Roll in, and straight away he looked dead excited about what he'd seen in training, and therefore got into the teams, got into off the bench, first opportunity. You know, he's been injured, but again on the weekend it was like, get him on the pitch as soon as possible. So you can sense that excitement of a player who he feels is ready, and it's just not there for Dibbling, or it's not there for Barry.
And nothing with Eder as well, Roll. So
and that to me is a slight
indicator.
An indicator, isn't it? Of like, you see him straight, he's excited, he's got a player, and he'll probably find a way of getting him into the team because he likes doing that. But that to me,
he's going to play Mail and Roll up front,
you've heard it here first. In the Mail and Roll.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. See what you did there, because what you've done there is you've took Mail and Roll's name and put it in a thing. See what you've done.
Created a Roll.
I see.
For Mail and Roll.
Yeah. And you've done it again.
You've done it again. I've done it twice, but that's the magic of it.
Double down on it. Fair play.
That's the magic of mailing. That's the so it's like, he was like, you could say that, I want to give Barry more minutes, but then it's almost like going, no, I'm not going to give you more minutes, because actually you don't deserve them. And Tyler Dibbling got 5 minutes. Tyler Dibbling got a longer advert from New Balance than he did on the pitch. I saw
that,
than he did against Man City. And they are little worrying signs of like him not being happy. And
but is that, do you look at it though, listen, as a fan, it's dead easy to sit here and go, he should be doing. He sees them every day.
Yeah.
Is it that, do you think that might be more of a sort of indictment on those two players then?
No, that's
I've
what I mean.
I've got to do more.
And don't get me wrong. I think, by the way, you think Barry's got to do loads more when he comes on the pitch. I think he has to be a destructive force more than anything. And I'm not like sitting here going, we got it wrong. But me and James had a couple of chats this week about it. It's like the players, the makeup of our bench and the makeup of the players who came in over the summer, it's basic. You just start whittling them down to players who actually play. And I know you can say, well, Barry has started games and Dibbling did start a game. But Dibbling going from starting a game in the Premier League against Crystal Palace to getting 5 minutes at the end of the Manchester City game is like, that's such a swing in such a quick. Barry starts the game and then again gets 15 minutes. It's such a swing. It's like, where's that consistency? Carlos Alcaraz doesn't get on the pitch against West Ham, and then comes on and changes the game against Palace, and then starts out of position in the next game. And it's like, you just feel like it's just putting players in for, not for the sake of it, because it's like, I have to, rather than going, this is the plan B. Tyler Dibbling, if we're getting beat after an hour, Tyler Dibbling will come on the right, and then Jai will go and it doesn't feel like that. And that's my bit of a worry.
We have seen this though with David Moyes.
I know, but like in ones I get it. But when it's like 3 or 4 of your bench, that to me becomes, that's where the worry starts to creep in for me.
I think there's a frustration, of course. Just before we finish, there is a frustration. We brought 9 players in the summer, but when you break it down, 2 of them are keepers, so it's 7. And then when you break it down, Asnu is not ready, so it's 6. All of a sudden, and then you start looking and going, well, it's 6 players. One of them was Charlie, so he's still in the squad. So really, it's 5 new ones into the squad. And then it's Tierno, Barry, but and Dibbling, who doesn't really fancy roles being it. And Grealish and Dewsbury all play. So really, out the 9, it's dead easy to get to 2 who play every week, of course. And then you've got options with Barry, you've got Dibbling. And Roll now does seem, like you said, to be a player who the manager really likes and trusts. So that's good, because then that might become 3. But we have seen with Moyes before, he will shoehorn players into the side to get them into the way of playing and get the messaging, and then he does generally put them back to where their best position is, unless they become really proficient in a position that we haven't looked at. And we saw that with Fellaini that third time round. And I know people can talk about the game moving on. The game's actually regressing back to what it was. I think the styles are changing. Again, I think we've seen something this week with more long balls now in the league for the first time, long throw-ins, kick-offs going right in the end. I think Carragher's pointed that out as well. It's been a real shift back. So he will look, when he feels Dibbling's ready, Dibbling will play. When he feels Barry's capable. But if I'm Barry, I'd be disappointed in myself when I look at Beto's just not firing right now. And there's a big opportunity and he hasn't grasped it. Dibbling's a little bit different for him. I think it's a little bit harder because he's got Njai and Grealish in his way.
Yeah, of course.
Njai scoring all the goals and Grealish being the best player. So it's a trickier one.
It's the plan B, isn't it, as well? That's how
no, you're right.
For him, Dibbling, he has got time because of those two players. But I think I want to see him as a plan B. But also he has to do something when he comes on the pitch. And the same with Barry. You wouldn't mind. Barry should be coming on the pitch and should be hopefully making a difference.
Be knocking people about, making runs in behind. But we need more. Yeah. We need more from them.
Yeah. There you go. Also, the clocks change. And so that means it's going to be darker, colder.
Get an extra hour in bed, though.
And, we wouldn't want that.
You're buzzing.
So, don't forget, it's going to be, big coat protocol on Sunday.
And the darker kick-off, not quite, but getting up there.
It'll be darker at 4.
Really?
Yeah, it's Britain.
Yeah, just about, won't it?
Yeah, it'd be horrible. But the lights will be on, and that'll be cool for doing the light show and stuff. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you optimistic about this one? And what would you go for? What are you looking at? Let us know your thoughts. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. You want more great videos. Join us over on Toffee TV Premier. Link in the description. QR codes come on the screen now. See you later. Bye.